Friendos.
Today I wanted to share with you the Sandstone palette from ColourPop. In my opinion, it is the best of the best when it comes to ColourPop. It's one of those old school warm tone palettes that really go well with, my hair is labeled rose gold right now. It's kind of a pinky coral color. And yeah, I've been having trouble matching up my eyeshadow to my hair, and this definitely does the trick. Okay, let's transition to the tutorial. Alright, so this is the palette. Look at all these pretty shades. I would say this palette is definitely very, very warm tone, and I know that that's not the most popular thing right now in the makeup industry. I feel like most of the palettes coming out now tend to be very like cool tone, or at least a mix of the two. I've even heard this referred to as an old school warm tone palette. But yeah, it's exactly that, but I love it. I think it's the perfect thing to complement my hair. Yeah, I'm newly peachy pink, rose gold, and a lot of, God, I am like shaking the table. A lot of the eyeshadow palettes that I have in my collection right now don't really go with my look. Like, I've noticed that if I try to incorporate something that's like purple or something that's gray, my face just kind of looks washed out and weird. But anyways, enough blabbering on. Let's get into the palette and applying it to my eyes. So I'm going to go in with this shade right here for my crease. It's called Canyon Loop. It's probably the most coral looking of all the shades in the palette. And a lot of people are thrown off because there is micro glitter in this, but to be honest, that just kind of fades away. You don't see the glitter when it goes on the eyes. So I'm going in with a very, very cheap Anastasia Beverly Hills brush that comes in pretty much all of their palettes. It's not the best brush, but if ever there was a situation where you could get away with using this brush, it's definitely in the crease. My concealer's already starting to crease. I should have used primer, but I'm lazy. So I used to be really skeptical of YouTubers talking about ColourPop because they were all so cheap. They have made a believer out of me though. I would say ColourPop is right up there with most of my Natasha Denona palettes. There are some Natasha Denona palettes that really stand out above the rest, but for what they've been putting out recently, ColourPop is every bit as good. So this just happened. I did not know this was magnetic till just now. Okay, cool. So next I'm going to be contouring the outer portion of my eye with Templeton. So my eye is kind of downturned, especially this, let's see, which one is my downturned? This one's more downturned than this one. My face is very asymmetrical, unfortunately for me. But I can sort of correct it by contouring the outside of my eyes. So I like to use a really matte dark shade for that, and today it's Templeton. And another criticism I do have for this palette is, and I do love this palette, I absolutely do, but it doesn't come with a mirror. Most ColourPop palettes don't, so I guess that's one of the ways they're able to save enough money to have their prices as cheap as what they do. So yeah, I'm using my Jawbreaker palette for its mirror. I love how rich it is. Super pigmented. You can just do like one or two little taps and it is there. So yeah, I'm not done yet, but you can see like already how much more lifted my eye looks. I remember when I first started doing this technique, my dad asked me if I had eye surgery. I was like, no, I just know how to do my makeup. And I goofed and I went a little too heavy and on this eye with that Templeton shade, so I'm gonna buff it out again with this E65 from Sigma. Alright, things are looking gorgeous and smoky, but not complete. So the next thing I'm going in with is, well, let's see, because there's two of these shades. I think this is my last criticism for this palette. Two of these shades are very, very similar. I'm going to swatch them on my arm and show you exactly what I'm talking about, but you won't be able to see very much difference in between Bell Rock and Pueblo. Is it Pueblo? All right. So, the first one I swatched is Bell Rock. The second one is Pueblo. And yeah, not much difference there at all. So I kind of wish that they had went a little bit heavier on the gold in one of them and not the other, but they kind of just made the same shade twice. But I'm gonna go in with I like how I'm like looking at it like there's really any difference, but I'm gonna go in with Bell Rock. And I really wish I knew what kind of brush this right here is. It is an LR100. It says concealer brush, but I really like it for like packing on the lid. Yeah, I have no idea what this brand is. If you do know, you see that little emblem? If you know, please leave it in the comments down below. Alright, this is gonna go all over my mobile lid. You know what, I retract that. It's not going all over my mobile lid. It's going like halfway and then I'm just gonna kind of blend it out. You'll see exactly what I do. Because it's on camera, there's no denying what's going on here. But yeah, not over the whole thing because I don't want it to reach the outer perimeter of my eye because that will, again, enunciate the fact that I have downturned eyes and I want them to look sparkly and uplifted. So for the longest of times, I had eyelash extensions and I did not need mascara. I recently decided to have them all removed. my eyelashes were starting to look bad. So for one, I think I was having a lot of breakage in my lashes, which tends to happen if you've had them on for like over a year. It's just something that happens. You go to brush them out, glue gets chunked up. I'll spare you all the nasties of it, but yeah, I haven't had the need for mascara in a long time. So I do have this Pat McGrath Labs mascara that I would use on my lower lashes, but even it is kind of old, so I don't know if it's out of date or not. We'll see. We'll see. My eyelashes are finally starting to fill back in, so I may go and get eyelashes put on again, but I haven't made my mind up yet. I really, really hated the way they were looking. I would have one eyelash turning up, one turning down. Looking at all shades of crazy. Yeah, this Pat McGrath mascara isn't doing too bad. Guys so much for watching this little bit of a train wreck. I definitely appreciate the views. If you enjoyed this video, there are plenty more up on my channel that I think you'll also enjoy. Some of them are linked down below. I hope that you will like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. If not, you'll have to live in the shadow of never knowing what could have been. See ya!